Millionaire marries a poor girl as a joke, but she destroys his reputation at the wedding. The champagne glass slips from Marcus Sterling's hand as his new wife steps to the microphone, her wedding dress gleaming under the crystal chandeliers. What she's about to say will destroy everything he's built in 60 seconds. 3 months earlier, Marcus Sterling, the 32-year-old CEO of Sterling Industries, sits in his penthouse office overlooking Manhattan. His net worth exceeds $2 billion, but his reputation among his elite circle has taken a hit after his messy divorce from socialite Victoria Ashford. "You're pathetic, Marcus," his business partner James Crawford sneers during their weekly poker game. "Victoria took half your assets and made you look like a fool. No woman will ever respect you again." Marcus slams his whiskey glass down. "Any woman can be bought. Love is just another transaction." "Prove it," James challenges. "Find the poorest, most desperate woman you can. Make her fall in love with you. Then marry her in front of everyone we know." The other millionaires around the table lean forward. Tech mogul David Chen adds, "If you can pull this off, we'll each invest $50 million in your next venture. But if you fail, you sell us your shares in Sterling Industries for half their value." Marcus's jaw tightens. His company means everything to him. "You're on." The next morning, Marcus drives his Lamborghini to the poorest district in Brooklyn. He's looking for someone desperate enough to believe his lies, vulnerable enough to manipulate. At a small diner called Hope's Kitchen, he spots her. Emma Rodriguez wipes down tables with practiced efficiency. Her black hair is pulled back in a simple ponytail, and her uniform is clean but worn. She's beautiful in a natural way that his usual crowd would never understand. Marcus observes her for an hour. She serves every customer with genuine warmth, slips extra bread to an elderly homeless man, and splits her tips with the busboy who's clearly struggling. Perfect. A naive do-gooder. He approaches her table. "Excuse me, I'm looking for someone." Emma looks up, her brown eyes cautious. "Can I help you?" "I think you can." Marcus flashes his most charming smile. "I'm Marcus. I couldn't help but notice how kind you are to everyone here." "That's just being human," Emma replies, continuing to clean. "Not in my world." Marcus sits down uninvited. "I run a business, and I'm always looking for genuine people. Someone like you." Emma stops cleaning. "Sir, I don't know what you're selling, but I'm not interested." "I'm not selling anything. I'm offering you a job. Personal assistant to a CEO. Starting salary, $200,000 a year." Emma's cloth drops to the table. $200,000? That's more than I make in 5 years. "Money isn't everything," Marcus says, studying her reaction. "But it can help you take care of the people you love." Something flickers in Emma's eyes. Pain. Fear. I have responsibilities. "Tell me about them." Emma hesitates, then sits down. "My mother has cancer. Stage 3. The treatments are expensive, and insurance doesn't cover everything. I work 3 jobs just to keep up with the medical bills." Marcus feels a twinge of something uncomfortable. Guilt? He pushes it aside. "I could help with that. Private doctors, experimental treatments, whatever she needs." "Why would you do that for a stranger?" "Because I believe in helping good people." The lie comes easily. "Give me a chance. One dinner. Let me show you what I can offer." Emma stares at him for a long moment. "One dinner. But I pay my own way." "Deal." Over the next 6 weeks, Marcus executes his plan perfectly. He takes Emma to modest restaurants, claiming he prefers authentic places over fancy establishments. He listens to her stories about growing up in foster care, about working since she was 14, about her dreams of becoming a teacher. He tells her carefully crafted lies about his own humble beginnings, about building his business from nothing, about wanting to use his wealth to help others. Emma begins to trust him. She shows him her world, the community center where she volunteers, the night school where she's studying for her GED, the small apartment she shares with her sick mother. "You're different from what I expected," Emma admits one evening as they walk through her neighborhood. "What did you expect? Rich people are usually—" She struggles for words. "Disconnected. Like they live in a different world." Marcus takes her hand. "Money doesn't have to change who you are inside." Another lie. But Emma believes it. He meets her mother, Carmen, a frail woman who raised Emma alone after aging out of the foster system. Carmen is suspicious of Marcus at first, but his charm wins her over too. "He's good for you, Mija," Carmen tells Emma. "I see how he looks at you. Like you're precious." Marcus is getting better at acting. 8 weeks into their relationship, Marcus proposes. He does it at the community center where Emma volunteers, in front of all the people she cares about. He's calculated this perfectly. She can't say no without disappointing everyone. Emma Rodriguez, he says, dropping to one knee with a ring that costs more than most people's houses. You've shown me what real love looks like. Will you marry me? Emma gasps. The crowd holds its breath. Marcus. We've only known each other 2 months. I've never been more sure of anything. Marcus lies smoothly. I love you, Emma. I want to spend my life with you. Emma looks around at the faces of her friends, her neighbors, the children she tutors. They're all smiling, hoping for her happiness. Yes, she whispers. The crowd erupts in celebration. Marcus slides the ring onto her finger, and Emma throws her arms around him. Behind his smile, Marcus feels nothing but satisfaction. Phase 1 complete. Marcus insists on a large wedding at the Plaza Hotel. I want everyone to see how proud I am of you, he tells Emma. Emma is uncomfortable with the expense, but Marcus dismisses her concerns. It's our special day. Nothing is too good for you. He invites everyone from his elite circle, the same people who made the bet. James Crawford, David Chun, tech heiress Sarah Monroe, oil baron Robert Hayes. They all RSVP yes, eager to watch the show. Emma wants to invite her friends from the neighborhood, but Marcus gently suggests they might feel out of place. Wouldn't you rather have a smaller, more intimate celebration with them separately? Emma agrees, not wanting to make anyone uncomfortable. The wedding dress costs $50,000. The flowers cost $30,000. The photographer charges more than Emma's annual salary. This is insane, Emma tells Marcus. We could help so many people with this money. We'll help people after the wedding, Marcus promises. This is about celebrating our love. Emma notices changes in Marcus as the wedding approaches. He's more distant, takes calls at odd hours, speaks in coded language with his business associates. When she asks about it, he says he's just stressed about work. The Plaza Hotel buzzes with activity. 300 guests fill the ballroom, most of them Marcus's wealthy friends and business associates. Emma's side of the aisle is sparse, just her mother in a wheelchair, a few co-workers from the diner, and Mrs. Patterson from the community center. Emma looks stunning in her designer gown, but her smile seems forced. She's overwhelmed by the grandeur, by the cold stares from Marcus's crowd. During the ceremony, Marcus plays his part perfectly. He recites his vows with just the right amount of emotion, kisses Emma with practiced passion, and poses for photos with the smile of a man in love. The reception begins with champagne toasts. James Crawford stands first. To Marcus Sterling, he says, raising his glass. A man who always gets what he wants. The crowd laughs. Emma doesn't understand the joke. David Chin goes next. To the happy couple. May your marriage be as profitable as your business ventures, Marcus. More laughter. Emma's smile falters. Sarah Monroe raises her glass. To Marcus, who proves that anything can be bought with enough money. The laughter is louder now, more knowing. Emma looks around, confused and hurt. Marcus stands, his face flushed with champagne and triumph. Thank you all. I told you I could do it, and here we are. Emma's blood runs cold. What do you mean? Marcus realizes his mistake, but it's too late. The alcohol has loosened his tongue, and the adrenaline of victory has made him careless. Nothing, darling. Just business talk. But Emma is already putting the pieces together. The knowing looks, the cruel laughter, the way Marcus's friends treat her like she's invisible. Emma steps away from Marcus, her voice barely audible. This is a joke to you, isn't it? Marcus tries to take her hand, but she pulls away. Emma, you're overreacting. Am I? Emma's voice grows stronger. These people aren't here to celebrate our love. They're here to watch you humiliate me. James Crawford, drunk on champagne and cruelty, laughs. Oh, she's figured it out. How adorable. Emma turns to face the crowd. What exactly have I figured out? That you're the punchline, Sarah Monroe says with a smirk. Poor little girl from the wrong side of town, thinking a billionaire could actually love her. Emma's face goes pale. Marcus, tell me this isn't true. Marcus looks around at his friends, at the expectant faces waiting for his response. His business empire hangs in the balance. His reputation, his future, everything depends on this moment. Emma, I can explain. Explain what? That you made a bet on my heart? That you played with my life for entertainment? The ballroom goes silent. Even the waitstaff stop moving. Marcus's mask finally slips. You got what you wanted. Your mother's treatment, a better life, financial security. Does it really matter why? Emma staggers backward as if he struck her. You paid for my mother's treatment as part of the bet. I helped you. Marcus says defensively. I gave you everything you needed. You gave me nothing. Emma's voice echoes through the ballroom. You took everything. My trust, my hope, my belief that someone could love me for who I am. Carmen, who has been silent in her wheelchair, begins to cry. Emma rushes to her mother's side. I'm so sorry, Mama. I'm so sorry I brought this man into our lives. Marcus feels a strange panic rising in his chest. This isn't how it was supposed to go. Emma was supposed to be grateful, compliant, broken by the revelation. Instead, she stands tall, wiping her tears, her eyes blazing with something he's never seen before. Emma walks to the microphone at the front of the ballroom. Her wedding dress trails behind her like a queen's robe. May I have everyone's attention? The crowd quiets, sensing drama. I want to thank you all for coming to witness this beautiful celebration of love. Emma begins, her voice steady despite her tears. But before we continue, I think you should know who you're really celebrating. Marcus starts toward her, but James Crawford grabs his arm. Let her finish. This is getting interesting. Emma continues. Marcus Sterling, my husband, is a man who built his fortune on the backs of others. But I didn't know that until today. I didn't know about the sweatshops in Bangladesh where children make the clothes his company sells. I didn't know about the toxic waste his factories dump into rivers in developing countries. I didn't know about the workers he fires without severance when they try to unionize. The crowd shifts uncomfortably. Marcus's face goes white. How do you know about that? Marcus demands. Emma reaches into her purse and pulls out a thick folder. Because I've been investigating you for 2 months. Did you really think I was naive enough to believe that a billionaire would fall in love with a waitress in 6 weeks? The ballroom erupts in murmurs. Marcus stares at Emma as if seeing her for the first time. You see, Marcus, I knew exactly who you were when you walked into that diner. I knew about your reputation, your business practices, your cruelty. I also knew about your bet. James Crawford drops his champagne glass. That's impossible. Emma smiles, but it's not the warm smile Marcus is used to. It's sharp, predatory. James, did you really think your conversations at the country club were private? Did you think the waitstaff there were deaf? She opens the folder and begins reading. Quote, find the poorest, most desperate woman you can. Make her fall in love with you. Then marry her in front of everyone we know. End quote. The crowd gasps. Marcus's wealthy friends suddenly look like deer in headlights. I have recordings, Emma continues. I have documentation of your illegal business practices. I have proof of your tax evasion, your bribery of foreign officials, your systematic abuse of workers' rights. Marcus finds his voice. What do you want? I want justice, Emma says simply. I want you to face the consequences of your actions. I want the world to know who you really are. She turns to address the crowd. Everyone here tonight is complicit in Marcus's crimes. You've all profited from his business, invested in his companies, turned a blind eye to his practices because it made you money. Sarah Monroe stands up. You can't prove any of this. Emma pulls out her phone and holds it up. This entire conversation is being live-streamed to 40,000 people. The recordings and documents are being released to the press as we speak. The FBI received copies an hour ago. The ballroom erupts in chaos. Guests start rushing for the exits. Marcus's friends are making frantic phone calls to their lawyers. Marcus stands alone in the middle of the mayhem, staring at his bride. Who are you? Marcus asks Emma. I'm exactly who I said I was, Emma replies. Emma Rodriguez, foster kid, waitress, daughter of a cancer patient. But I'm also something else. She reaches under her wedding dress and pulls out a small device. I'm an investigative journalist. I've been working on exposing your business practices for 3 years. You walking into that diner was the opportunity I'd been waiting for. Marcus's legs give out. He sinks into a chair. The cancer? Your mother? My mother's cancer is real, but the treatments were never in question. I've been saving money for 3 years, working multiple jobs, researching experimental treatments. I didn't need your money. I needed your confession. But you seemed so genuine. I am genuine. Everything I told you about my beliefs, my values, my dreams, that was all real. The only thing that wasn't real was my feelings for you. Marcus looks around the empty ballroom. His friends have abandoned him. His business empire is crumbling. His reputation is destroyed. Why go through with the wedding? You had enough evidence to destroy me weeks ago. Emma's expression softened slightly. Because I wanted to give you a chance to do the right thing. I thought maybe, if you spent time with real people, if you saw how your actions affected others, you might change. And you doubled down on your cruelty. You used my mother's illness as leverage. You treated me like a possession to be won or lost. You proved that you're exactly the monster I thought you were. Marcus looks at his hands. I never meant for anyone to get hurt. Yes, you did. You built your fortune on other people's pain. You made a bet on my heart for entertainment. You absolutely meant for people to get hurt. 6 months later, Marcus Sterling sits in a federal prison cell. His assets have been seized, his company shut down, his co-conspirators scattered to the winds. Emma visits him once, not out of kindness, but to deliver a final message. The workers in Bangladesh are getting fair wages now, she tells him through the prison glass. The toxic waste sites are being cleaned up. The families you destroyed are getting compensation. Marcus looks older, broken. I suppose you're satisfied. I'm satisfied that justice was served. I'm satisfied that you can't hurt anyone else. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. Emma studies his face. Are you sorry for what you did, or sorry that you got caught? Marcus doesn't answer. That's what I thought, Emma says. She stands to leave, then turns back. Oh, and Marcus? My mother beat the cancer. She's healthy and happy and proud of what I did. She says to tell you that karma always comes full circle. Emma stands at the front of a classroom, teaching a group of adult education students about journalism and media literacy. Her wedding ring is gone, but her smile is brighter than ever. The most important thing to remember, she tells her students, is that the truth always finds a way to come out. Sometimes it just needs a little help. One of her students, a young woman named Maria, raises her hand. Miss Rodriguez, weren't you scared? Going up against someone so powerful. Emma thinks about that night at the Plaza Hotel, about the moment she destroyed Marcus Sterling's life with nothing but the truth. I was terrified, she admits. But I was more afraid of what would happen if I did nothing. If I let him continue hurting people because I was too scared to act. What happened to all his money? Most of it went to compensate his victims. Some went to fund programs like this one, to help people get the education they need to protect themselves from predators. Maria nods thoughtfully. So something good came from something evil. The best things often do, Emma says. Evil contains the seeds of its own destruction. Sometimes you just have to be patient enough to let them grow. After class, Emma walks to her car, past the billboard advertising her book, The Sterling Deception, How I Brought Down a Billionaire. The royalties fund scholarships for foster kids pursuing journalism degrees. Her phone rings. It's her mother. Mija, I saw the news. Marcus is being transferred to a maximum security prison. Good, Emma says. He'll be safer there. You're not worried about him? Emma considers this. I'm worried about all the people like him who are still out there. But Marcus? Marcus made his choice. He has to live with the consequences. I'm proud of you, Emma. Your father would be proud too. Emma's eyes fill with tears. She never knew her father, but she likes to think he would approve of her choices. I love you, Mama. I love you too, Mija. Come home soon. Emma hangs up and drives toward her modest apartment, past the towers of Manhattan where other billionaires plot and scheme, convinced of their own invincibility. She thinks about Marcus, alone in his cell, finally understanding what it means to be powerless. She thinks about the workers in Bangladesh who can now afford to send their children to school. She thinks about the rivers that run cleaner because of what she did. Justice isn't always immediate. Sometimes it takes years to arrive, but it always comes. And sometimes it comes dressed in a wedding gown, carrying a microphone, ready to tell the world the truth. Marcus Sterling thought he could buy anything, manipulate anyone, hurt people without consequences. He learned too late that some things can't be purchased: integrity, justice, and the courage of someone who refuses to be broken. Emma Rodriguez taught him that the most dangerous person in the world isn't the one with the most money or power. It's the one with nothing left to lose and everything to fight for. The last thing Marcus Sterling heard before his world collapsed was the sound of truth being spoken into a microphone, broadcast to the world, impossible to silence or suppress. And the last thing Emma Rodriguez felt as she walked away from her wedding was something she hadn't experienced in years: the satisfaction of knowing that sometimes Just sometimes, the good guys win. Even if they have to destroy everything to do it.